Thank you, everybody, for sticking around for Sunday's activities and for the officer's report. For my finance report, I would like to take you on a tour of the neighborhood and compare our spending with our neighbors and see how we stack up. I got the information about these other organizations from their IRS Forms 990, aka their nonprofit tax returns, which are available on the internet. Unlike these organizations, which make one annual information filing a year, the Form 990, we file 16 forms a year at a minimum, 12 monthly reports to the Federal Election Commission and quarterly reports to the FPPC if there are no elections. So that's a whole lot of transparency. I got the information I'm sharing with you from our finance department, Parvinder King, who maintains our general ledger, and Cha-Cha Brown, who does our reporting. By the way, congratulations are in order because we passed our last FEC audit with no findings whatsoever. I purposely used a non-election year so we wouldn't be comparing our election apples to the operating oranges in our neighbors' orchards. Nonprofit organizations report their expenses in three main activity areas. Program, which is organizing, doing research, or in our case, electing Democrats. Administration, which is what is needed to keep an organization functioning. This includes negotiating with the landlord and the insurance provider, performing HR, legal and accounting functions, managing IT. These are backstory, non-glamour jobs, although you would never call Amy Vratos non-glamorous or Andrew Drapkin a backstory. For this reason, I have included our financial record keeping and reporting expenses in admin, even though you could argue that Cha-Cha and Doug Ackman, who keeps the caucus books, are doing program-related work. And ta-da, fundraising, which is asking for the money to pay for the other stuff, for which we have to thank Katie, Angie, Jasmine, and Nicole. I'm trying to introduce you to the people that you won't see on this podium or that you haven't called to ask for your insurance for the Central Committee. I think a lot of you could probably pick out Tenoch or Farah, Emma, Shonda, Chris, and of course Martha and Christopher in a crowd. And you've probably seen Ken keeping Senator JB on track. But even if you've seen him, I have to mention Robert Jordan, the brains and muscle without which DEM 2012 would not function. So this is how we spend our money in those activity areas. As it fills up, you'll see we look pretty good, especially given the reporting and compliance burden that we work under. And we don't have the economies of scale that MALDAF and Equality California do. But what kinds of expenses do we have to carry out these activities? We have people costs, including wages, payroll taxes, benefits, professional fees, all the components of what I call face time. The CDP has a big slice for events, travel, and meetings. That's because we hold 2 e-board meetings and 1 statewide convention every year. We have direct program costs, which for the ACLU is community action, and for the other organizations in our neighborhood are publications or research. For us, it's our trainings, our booth boxes, our voter registration activities like It Gets Bluer and the LA Operation Game Changer program. The picture here is worth many, many words. We also have the bounty program and voter identification activities which orbit around our MO program. But you know, 2 things struck me about our neighborhood. The first is that our neighbors don't rely very heavily on volunteers. Most of them show fewer than 200 volunteers on their Forms 990. Equality California shows 2,500. There are over 3,000 DSCC members, not to mention the other Central Committee members, AD also rans, folks working on campaigns, and the thousands of Democratic Club members who use our tools and participate in our activities. The second thing about us is that we raise all this money using only 12% of our spending. So, how is that possible? Well, here are our revenue streams. The first one coming in is the activist activities like convention registration, member dues, workshop attendance fees. Then DEM 2012, it's very dear to my heart, but in 2011, fewer than half of our members were in DEM 2012, which is why it's so skinny. Then the dinners and luncheons and other mini fundraising events. But what really makes it work, Senator Burton, Angie Tate, and Shonda Wesley, who listen to our strategic partners and flesh out the programs that make them want to give to us. These are the folks who are on the same side of the fence as we are. They are organizations whose members share our values and whose leaders recognize that over the long haul, electing Democrats is the best way to implement our shared values. But there is a threat stalking us, a proposition written by two attorneys representing the California Republican Party. This initiative uses our passion and our message to tilt the playing field in favor of corporate power. Considering the simplistic logic that the Reaps used to deny President Obama his rightful heritage as a fully American president, I am staggered by the complexity of the proposition that California Republicans have launched to silence the voice of working people working together. Frankly, it's a way for corporations to increase their political power. These attorneys use our words and our frame, but actually give corporations more political muscle than they have right now. Fellow Democrats, don't be fooled by what the proposition says. This would stop unions and corporations from using funds raised through voluntary payroll deductions for contributions to state candidates for or against ballot propositions as independent political expenditures in state races or to political organizations in California for non-federal use. But wait, there's a big gigantic loophole. Only unions raise money using voluntary payroll deductions. Corporations make their donations from profits, which they make on every single sale. Union members wouldn't be able to support Kamala Harris or Jerry Brown by voluntarily pooling their contributions using the same system they use to give to the United Way. But Valero can still send some of what you pay for every gallon of gas to support corporate-friendly candidates all over the country. Monsanto can still send part of the profits from selling GMO cucumbers to block truth in food labeling. To the injury of smoking, add the insult that tobacco companies use those profits to buy flunkies to block health care reform. And this is before their attorneys eliminate the token use and use corporate personhood to eliminate the token limits on all corporations, including banks and the media. This is a major corporate power grab. Not only could unions not make independent expenditures for state candidates, this proposition effectively prohibits union contributions to political parties. Unions could not support central committees, state committees, state candidates, PACs, and of course the Democratic Party. Hey, wait! That's us! But corporations can keep spending, while the organizations that ensure safe working conditions, equitable benefits, and also amplify our political views will be silenced. Our party will feel this. Without our strategic partners, the CDP could no longer provide the myriad services and benefits that grassroots activists used so effectively in 2010. We are not going to take this assault lying down. The important good news in this scenario is that when well-meaning liberal, Democratic, and independent voters hear the truth, they stop supporting this measure. So we have to talk to them. I know you have a full-time job, or take care of your kids or grandkids, or your aging parents, or your spouse. I know you organize phone banks, precinct walks, JJ and Roosevelt dinners, voter registration booths at county fairs, and the 4th of July. I know you sometimes feel that you don't have time to even say thank you or wait for your coffee to heat up on Minute Plus in the microwave. I know we want to re-elect the President and Senator Feinstein, flip Congressional Assembly and Senate seats. Want to? We have to. But we have to insert the conversation about this corporate power grab into every day. Taking care of kids, talk about it at the playground. Taking care of aging parents in the waiting room while you're waiting for your test results. Have a pet at the dog park. Online at the grocery store, while you're moving the laundry to the dryer in the laundromat, to your friends, to your colleagues, the people sitting next to you on the bus, in your words, from your heart. This corporate deception is the leitmotif for the next 9 months. We will not let 2012 be our swan song. It will be the next stanza in the song of ourselves, like Walt Whitman says, my voice goes after what my eyes cannot reach. Brothers and sisters, we will hang our hearts and minds on the arc of history, and our weight will bend it ever more deeply towards justice. Democrats, talk is cheap, so use it up. Democrats, do your stuff. Thank you.